Namaste, mamas. Today we are going to. I really hope that I didn't just make the mic crackle then, so I'm really sorry if I did. We're going to do Jala today, which is our water sequence. So, affiliated with fluidity, calmness, also adaptation, so adapting to change, both physically, mentally, emotionally, making change in our lives as well, which we're always doing, but even more so through pregnancy because you're preparing for new life as well. So we're going to also do some. Sorry, I feel like I had a click in my back that I need to get rid of. We're going to do some sound work as well. So if you don't like to do sound work, that's absolutely fine. You can, I'll pop in the description box underneath the video a time where you can just come into the meditation instead, so you can skip the sound work. If you haven't done sound work before, I'd definitely give it a go just to see if you do like it. The reason why it's really good in pregnancy, even if you just want to listen, you don't have to do it, is because we're sending a vibrational message down to baby, and from 17 weeks your baby can hear everything that you do as well. Everything that you hear, your baby will hear. So when we're chanting, especially in yoga and meditation, the sounds and those vibrations that we make are going to send a message of calmness down to baby. That will help when baby is born, to help soothe them, to get them to sleep, stuff like that. And it's just calming for you as well. So if anything, it's really just good for you because it's scientifically proven to slow the heart rate down, which is good. So always have a bolster or blocks around you to support cushions and everything. And let's come into a seated position on our mats. So nice and comfortable. We're going to bring thumbs together, index fingers together, coming into Yoni Mudra. Bring the hands onto baby, down to your womb space. So our womb space, or our sacral plexus, is affiliated with water. So you may want to invite the colour blue into the hands here and just send that calm, tranquil colour down towards your hands. The mantra that we're going to chant today is Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. So it sounds like a mouthful, so you can just stick with the first half, which is Om Aim. And we're going to repeat this 8 times. The main thing that we want to do whilst we're chanting is remember the message and the meaning behind the mantra. So for this one, we're sending salutations to the pregnant mother. So I'm sending it straight to you. You can send it to yourself, maybe to the wider community as well. It instills positivity, wisdom, health, creativity, and calm, moving thought as well. All right. So we're going to do this 8 times. I want you to see if you can really feel the vibrations, maybe coming into the heart and then down to baby as well. So 8 times, I'll let you know when we're coming on to the 8th one. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. 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 Last one. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Just take a few breaths here. Maybe release the hands down to the legs, nice and gently, and give the shoulders a roll. Lovely. And let's take a golden breath meditation today. So if you need to give the legs a little roll out, a little shake out, you can. Maybe even recross the legs to the opposite crossing, just to make it nice and even. Golden thread breath. This is great preparation for breath work in labour. So you can do this wherever you are. You don't have to be in a yoga practice. It's good to just familiarise yourself with this one as well. So sitting nice and tall, just tune into a gentle pattern of breathing, something that's really nice and effortless. So you can close the eyes, maybe you want to gaze down the bridge of the nose. And if you find it easy to take a really full yogic breath, use that as your starting point, so that real inflation and the deflation. Just letting it go. Alright. And just take an extra yawn here. So deep breath in, big yawn. Releasing the jaw, the throat and the teeth. And as you breathe, I want you to breathe in through the nose, and as you breathe out through the mouth, through a tiny, tiny gap between the top and the bottom lip. Just enough of a gap that you might imagine a piece of tissue paper held between the lips. And such a small gap that is practically invisible. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through those slightly parted lips. And feel a fine, cool breeze passing out between the lips. The cheeks, the lips and the face are relaxed. There's no pursing of your lips. They want to be nice and soft. Feel the breath travelling in through the nose and out through the mouth. Allow your breath to be so fine that it feels as if a fine golden thread is spinning out between the lips. It's a thin golden thread-like embroidery yarn, smooth and silky, spinning out further and further away with every exhalation. Allow each exhalation to lengthen without forcing, but simply letting out the breath increase in length. As that golden thread of breath spins out into the air in front of you, watch how each inhalation allows for the breath to go in through the nose. Feel the breeze for that exhalation travelling between the lips into the air right in front of your closed eyes. And let the end of this golden thread carry your mental attention farther and farther away with each exhalation. Now the heart of this practice, as you continue with your golden thread breath, the heart of this practice is softness. You're not pursing the lips, you're not making them tight as if to whistle. The lips are soft. The breath passing between them is silent and gentle. The lengthening of your exhalation is achieved effortlessly. And because the gap through which the breath passes out is so tiny, it takes a long time for all of the breath to release. There's no sense of force. Simply watch your breath lengthen, following it out into the space in front of you. It should feel entirely effortless, completely comfortable, completely soothing. And if at any point you find yourself struggling to exhale because the gap is too small, then just simply open the lips a little bit more. Any exhalation is an antidote to pain and to tension. And the golden thread's extended exhalation makes this antidote even more powerful. So the longer your exhalation here, the more effective this breath is as a form of pain and anxiety management. While staying with the comfortable limits of your own easy pace of breath, the longer exhalation and the farther out the mental attention travels, and the more the body can relax into a quiet, mind-free space of healing and ease. The longer the exhalation is, the greater the distance between mind and body. Allow this golden thread breath to travel as far as is comfortable for you, and let the body make a voyage back to its natural healing state of easeful rest. As soon as your mental awareness is at the far end of the long exhale, then the body can rest. Take one more breath. And return to normal breath. And gently make your way onto your hands and your knees. And give those legs a shake out. They will most likely need it. Lovely. And let's start taking some cat-cow. So we're going to take a breath in as you round through the back, tucking the bottom. Breathe out, reach the tailbone up, reach the heart forward without collapsing through the spine. Breathe in, round through the back. Breathe out, release. And just keep moving through this at your own pace. If you're sore in the wrists at all, you can come onto fists, you can maybe come onto forearms. Let's do one more round. Lovely. We're going to come straight back into our yogi squat, our malasana. So taking hold of our blocks. You've got them, you don't have to use them, but have them near you just in case. Just going to place these between the heels. Walk the hands back. Set the soles of the feet onto the floor and sink down into your malasana yogi squat here. So this wants to feel comfortable. I've mentioned it before that this is a natural birthing position. For some people it's really, really good, really comfortable, but for some people it's horrendous. So If you are one of those people who finds this horrible, then maybe just come into a child's pose instead. Or prop yourself up as much as you can, because you can be sat in a chair if you want to, all right? So just going to breathe down in towards your lower belly and down towards baby. And take a rock, sway from side to side like I'm doing at the moment. And focusing our energy and sending some nurturing thoughts, nurturing love from heart down to womb space. Lovely. From here, come back onto hands and knees. And we're going to extend the right leg behind, take a breath in. As you breathe out, float the right leg to the top of the mat onto the outside of that right hand. Right hand comes onto the right thigh. And we're just going to take some movement of the arms. So just like kind of flowing in between, through the legs. If this is too much, you can come down, left hand onto the floor, and do some movement of the right arm, making sure you're still creating the space for baby with that right thigh, so you're not bringing the thigh inwards. And if you're on the left hand side, maybe give a go, or even if you're not just on the left, maybe just give a go at opening through the left side of the body. And then release the hands down. Let's take the right leg back, take a rock side to side. We're going to do the same with the left. So extend the left leg back, take a breath in, breathe out, guide it forward. Hands onto, left hand onto left thigh, and inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, inhale. Remember, your option is just to do the left arm at a time. And then work through the right arm. Keep hugging your baby in so we're not collapsing through the hips. Remember, we're working with water. So you can maybe imagine you're moving the arms through water. There's a little bit of resistance there. One more. Hands come down. Pop the knee, left knee back. Rock from side to side. We're going to tuck the toes in, walk the hands back to the knees, set the soles of the feet onto the floor. Hands come up onto the thighs. Take a breath in round through the back. Breathe out, release the tailbone away, reach the heart forward and come up to standing. Take a breath in, lift. Breathe out, hands come down onto the thighs. Inhale, just find some length. Exhale, walk the hands down onto the floor, hands and knees. And we're going to repeat all of that again, but we're going to keep the hands down for this round. So breathe in, reach the right leg back. Breathe out, right foot comes forward. Just take some movement here of the hips. Let's get some space. Move that fluid round for baby. And also just direct your breath into the pelvis. And really just allow yourself to move in a way that feels really good. And keeping the fingers soft. Remember, you can use blocks underneath your hands here. Remember to breathe. And let's take that right leg back. We're going to do the same on the left. So maybe just take a little bit of work rocking through side to side and then guide that left foot forward. Again, taking that free movement. Now, one side might feel different to the other. I know 100% for me, I've got my left hip is a lot more mobile than my right. So just be mindful of that. If you feel that you've got a little bit more space to create there, that's brilliant, as long as you're not overdoing it or extending too far. Let's take that leg back. Take a rock from side to side, and then we're going to take ourselves back into that forward fold, hands up onto the thighs. Take a breath into round through the back. And as you breathe out, release, reach the heart forward, maybe gaze up. And then come up. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms. And breathe out, release the hands down to the thighs. We're going to do that all the way again. So take a breath in, take a gentle lift. As you breathe out, walk down, coming onto hands and knees. And it's up to you for this round. If you want to do what we did the first time around with bringing the arms up or just swinging one arm around, or if you want to keep the hands down. So when you're ready, take the right leg back on a breath in. And breathe out, guide that right foot forward. Take that movement that feels good. So this is your practice. And we're thinking about that fluidity and that movement and adaptation to our bodies. So if you are practicing this maybe for the second time, this might feel different to the first time you did it. So it's all about making that change for you to feel safe, for you to feel peaceful and spacious. Let's bring the hands down one by one. Take the right leg back. And always take that movement between sides. When you're ready, guide the left leg back on a breath in. Breathe out, bring it forward. Same again, take that movement. If you're going in one direction, we're just going to go the other way. And then last one. And release the hands down to the earth. And taking the left knee back, rock from side to side. Feel free to take a child's pose in between if you want to. Or if you're ready to come into a down dog, as long as you're before 22 weeks or baby hasn't already turned. You guys know the drill. You can take down dog instead. Apologies again for the mic that did not work. Just ran out of battery. So hopefully this is all making sense wherever you are. What I'm doing at the moment is coming into puppy pose. So it's instead of taking yourself into down dog, in between down dog and child's pose, so you get in that length through the spine. If you want to get a slight inversion without having to tip up into down dog. I'm also gazing forward, but we want to look back towards our heels. I'm just gazing forward because I thought my mic was on, and I thought I'd be breathing into the mic and it making a crackly sound. So ignore how my head is at the moment. And let's walk the hands back towards the feet. We're going to come into that nice forward fold again, using the blocks. And we're going to work through chair pose in a minute. Chair pose and Uttasana. So Uttasana is our forward fold. So having the feet hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Take that rock from side to side. You can use a wall here instead, so you can do that down dog against a wall instead. Coming into that L shape if you're finding this is too much to fold over. Maybe give the toes a little wiggle. And this is nice just to take the weight off the lower back, just to allow baby to chill out. So spread the toes out. The heels are going to be a little bit wider than the toes. We're going to breathe in, reach the arms up, tuck the bottom, breathe out, bring the hands down. Again, we're going to breathe in, reach the arms up, shoulder blades sliding down the back. Breathe out, take a forward fold. I think we do it one or two more times. Breathe in and lift up. And fold down. Yeah, last one. Breathe in. And fold forward. And hands come onto the thighs. And take a round through the back as you come all the way up. Deep breath in, reach the arms above head. Breathe out, guide your hands through prayer to your heart space. And then you're going to bring the hands onto baby, maybe into that yoni mudra that we did before, and start to take some hip rolls. Maybe imagine the groovy time that baby's having as you move around here, and give it a go at giving those wrists a roll as well. So I've touched on previously about how the wrists are really, really sensitive and delicate joints, and helping the joints to be nice and mobile and lubricated will also help with tension elsewhere. So just allow yourself this time to maybe imagine you're moving the hands through water, you're moving the hips around through water as well. So we just want to maintain this fluid movement. And then we're going to turn to face the long side of the mat. We're going to first come into a side angle. So the toes are turned out. And then you're going to start with your right leg. So turn the toes of your right foot up to the short edge of the mat. And then your back foot is going to slightly turn in. So your back leg, so your left leg, is going to stay straight. And you're going to bend your right knee and reach the left arm overhead. So you can maybe bring your right hand down to baby. What we want to try and do is rotate the heart up towards the sky. So if at any point you feel that and what I'm doing now is just showing you what it would be like in yoga, which is not pregnancy based. So we're just shortening the stance. If you feel that you've got quite a lot of weight from baby at the moment, if you're quite baby's already quite big, you might feel yourself tipping forward here. So if you do feel that, maybe bring that left hand to the small of the back and rotate the heart upwards a little bit, but make sure you're still pulling the heels towards each other. So you're having that lift, but you're also feeling the energy running down the outside of that left leg. Come up to our warrior two. We're going to toe heel the right foot to the right edge of the mat. So you're making your stance a little bit wider. And we're going to have the arms directly in line with the legs. So your body's going to feel like it's on a bit of a diagonal. If you've already got quite a solid practice of yoga, this might feel quite different because it's not and I say in inverted commas, the traditional warrior two posture. But remember, we're accommodating, we're adapting to change in our body. So we're just making our practice comfortable for both ourselves and the growing baby. So bring the feet back to where we started, and we're going to do all of that on the other side. So you're going to turn the left toes, I really look like I'm moving in slow motion, it's quite cool. Left toes up to the short edge of the mat, back foot is slightly turned in, left forearm comes over towards that left thigh, and we reach the right arm overhead. Always take that adjustment as well, so that modification by reaching the right arm behind the back. And if this still feels like it's too much, you can always come up and just take a reach of the right arm instead of reaching over that left leg. So we're thinking about that length and that space that we can create down the right side of the body. And let's come into that warrior two. So bring the arms back up. I feel like I'm on a surfboard here. And sink into that left knee. That mat is not very good on a little wiggly rug at all. So drop in the shoulders and just make sure that that left knee as well is drawing towards the toes, not on towards the big toes. You're opening through the leg, but we're not expanding the hips too much. And then straighten up. And let's gently bring the feet back. Take a little rock from side to side. Have a little dance about. Alright, let's start finding ourselves coming into our triangle pose. So take the feet apart once again and walk the right foot over to the right edge of the mat. And if you've got bolster or if you've got blocks or anything, maybe grab hold of those to pop onto the inside of your right leg just in case you want to use them. So slightly different posture this time. We're going to keep both legs straight and we're going to reach over the right leg. And we're going to reach the left hip back. Bring the right hand either onto a bolster or a block, or you can bring the right hand onto the inside of that right leg. So the back of the hand is pushing into the inside of the right leg. Main thing is that we're lifting and reaching up through that left arm. You can maybe imagine that energy running from, and this is where if you feel that you've got too much weight in your forward in front, you might fold forward. So feel free to come up instead. So yeah, imagine that you've got that energy running all the way from that right hand up towards the tip of the left hand into the sky. Bending the knees if you need to. And let's come all the way back up. We're going to do that on the other side. So bring the feet in line with each other. Slightly wider stance again. Both legs are straight. Dropping the shoulders, reaching over towards your left leg, and then we're going to rotate down to our left again. So rotate the right arm up, almost like you're kind of doing a little mini crunch as well. So you don't want to be puffing the chest out. Really hug baby in here as much as you can. So when we come to stillness, it gives us the opportunity to reset, also a chance to check in with what's serving us, what's no longer serving us. So have we built up tension over time through our practice by overdoing it? Or are we able to release into a posture a little bit more? And this is where these still postures come into their own, because they give you that mental clarity and that time to just observe. Coming all the way back up. Let's come to the backs of our mats. So pop anything that's on your mat just out the way. And you guys know how to come down, but let's do it all together. So reach the arms up on a breath in, breathe out, hands come down to the thighs. Breathe in as you round through the back. Breathe out, walk the hands down the legs, come on to hands and knees. Grab yourself any of those bits of support that you've got, so you can grab yourself a bolster. Personally recommend a cushion, just for this next bit, just to do some sacral stabilization. So set the, you're going to come onto your bottom, onto the cushion, and you're going to have your left leg bent out in front of you, and your right leg is going to be tucked behind. So we want that your left shin to be in line with the top of your mat. So we're not pulling the foot close towards the groin like I'm doing here. We're going to have the foot more or less in line with the knee instead. So a nice gap. So make sure you are comfortable in this position. Don't worry if your right hip is off the floor here as well, because we're going to move through this right hip anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our arms out, and as we take a twist to the left, you're squeezing your right butt cheek, and as you breathe out, come back to where we started. Breathe in, take your twist. Breathe out, come back. Now you don't have to use the hands. You might want to just keep the hands down at the thighs. You might want to have the hands on the hips. It doesn't matter. You might want to even reach the arms up and get a little bit more fluid, a little bit more dancey, flamboyant if you want to. So this is a great one if you do have any discomfort through your SIJ, so your sacroiliac joint. Also, if you're getting any pubic symphysis as well, this is a great one just to stabilize the pelvis. So even if you're not experiencing pain or discomfort, this is a great one just to keep the mobility through the pelvis without overdoing it. So do a couple more rounds here. And we're going to take seated cat-cow, but for the lower pelvis. So as you inhale, roll the pelvis forward. Exhale, tuck it back. Inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, tuck it back. Maybe you can give a go at just taking some circular movements through the hips here. Maybe go the other way. It's up to you. or you can just stick with any of what we've done already. As we swap the legs over, just give them a shake out in between sides. And then when you're ready, you're going to cross that right leg in, then the left foot tucks behind. And adjust your seat because, as I mentioned before, with me, I've got one hip that's more mobile than the other. So make sure you are comfortable and that you're sitting without any discomfort. So we're going to squeeze into the left butt cheek and take a twist. So as you breathe in, you twist around, and as you breathe out, you come back to center. So just keep moving through this at your own pace, doing whatever you want to do with the arms. You can feel like a mermaid splashing through the water of the lily pond. Okay, let's take those pelvic rocks forward and back. No circular movements if you'd like to as well. Noticing the change from one side to the other. Observing how you may need to adapt your movement from one side to the other. Check in with your breathing. Maybe even bring hands onto baby right now. See if you can feel out for any movement. And release the legs. Give them a shake out. And finally, just to get a little bit more energy down into our womb space and root through our root chakra, we're going to come into Baddha Konasana, so butterfly pose. Soles the feet together. Feet are about 2 hand lengths away from the pelvis, so we've got a nice diamond shape. I'm just going to sit and just flap the knees. Always use that support if you're not able to reach forward towards your feet. You can use blocks instead to keep you upright. Yoga is all about creating space. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So do what you need to accommodate yourself and your growing baby. And slow the knees down to a stop. We're going to make our way into our... no, we're not. We're going to take seated cat-cow. I do apologise. So exhale as you round through the back. Bring the hands together. Inhale, open the heart out. Exhale, touch the fingers. Now you can, if this is too much using the hands, you can keep the hands on the knees. What I'm doing here. Even take that circular movement through the hips that we did before. Doesn't matter. Do what you want to do. Alright. And we're going to come on to our hands and knees to prepare for pigeon pose. So just make sure your shoulders are stacked above the wrists, also that you've got the support near you to grab hold of. And then we're going to start by bring our left leg first. Is that what I did? Yes. Left knee up behind the left wrist. Now, if you've got a solid practice already through yoga, you may want to bring your foot underneath the body. But the further you get along through your pregnancy, there might not be as much space because that foot is where baby is going to be resting. So use the support underneath the hip. If you have got the foot across and underneath the body, or just keep that heel tucked underneath the back of the left leg. So we're not opening out the hips at all. And use the support of blocks, cushions, bolsters underneath the forearms as well. So earlier on in pregnancy, you'll most likely be able to reach all the way forward, and that won't pose any constriction or compression onto baby. But we want to really try and get used to modifying these postures so that they feel natural for you when you do get further along in your term. So main thing here is that we do want to maintain an element of control through the pelvis. So have a slight squeeze from that back knee and the front leg. So you're almost trying to pull the legs together without really causing any tension. So we're not fully releasing into the hips. And then we're going to tuck the toe of the back foot and then start sliding the knee up. And we're going to swap legs over. So when you're ready, take your left leg back, take a rock from side to side. And then you're going to bring that right knee up behind the right wrist. Again, you can take the foot underneath the body or keep that right heel right tucked underneath the right thigh. Use the support where you need to. I know you're probably going to get fed up of me always saying, oh, she always tells me to use my support. I already know. But I'm just telling you just in case. So, again, same thing as the other side. Use your support and make sure you're creating or be mindful to create as much space both for you and your growing baby. Each side is unique. And take another breath. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. And start coming up. We're going to make our way back onto our hands and knees and then come down into our final relaxation posture. You can come onto your left hand side, or you can find yourself some space on a sofa, or come to your bed, whatever you want to do. But make sure if you are lying down, you're on your left and you've got the support. So support underneath the head, maybe a cushion between the knees. And I'm going to let you take your own relaxation here. So take the time that you need right now. If you'd like to pop on another meditation, you can do. But take this time just to slow all the way back down. And find gratitude for everything that you have in your life. Gratitude for this experience that you're moving through in this journey. Reminding yourself that you're not alone. Everything you're going through right now, you are sharing it with an absolutely amazing young being. And they're sharing it with you as well. So as I said, take your time here. And from here I will say, Namaste. May you be safe, healthy, happy and peaceful.